What's up?
What's up, dude?
How you guys doing?
A lot better now, man. Thanks for hopping on with us today.
Yeah, no problem.
I guess first things first. Question, probably if you've been doing interviews, you get everywhere. But how you been holding up with everything?
Oh man, it's up and down. It's like I got two crazy like kids, so it's pretty insane all the time. And then I all of a sudden have to be like a teacher, so that's really gnarly too.
Yeah, that's like
So
that's like what no one's talking about is like you guys the parents of the world. Just that's a true double duty. You know what I mean?
yep, yeah,
Crazy.
man.
Well, what do the good days look like? Like when you get to do music or when you get to be around music, are those typically the better times?
It just depends. I mean,
Yeah,
like I'm really craving like getting out and like playing shows and stuff. Like it's been
totally.
since like before Thanksgiving was our last like tour.
Right.
And so I've been home since then, and then we were supposed to like leave at the end of May for a awesome tour with us and Simple Plan and Knuckle Puck, and now that's gotten postponed. So just trying to like take it day by day because we don't know what's going to happen. Like I mean, I know some states are opening up a little bit,
Right.
but I live in California where they don't know when we're going to like be able to ease back in yet. So
Yeah. It's crazy times. I guess in the spirit of everything we're talking about, the album did get pushed back just a little bit, but it's actually I think going to be a better situation now because it's also corresponding with Record Store Day, right?
yeah, yeah,
That's rad. So June 19th,
yeah.
and then
And
how am I saying? I haven't heard anyone say the album. Is it Forever plus Ever times Infinity? Is that how I should say it?
forever and ever times infinity.
Okay, there you go. Like it's like an Ed Sheeran album where I'm like, is that do I say divide or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
no, that's cool, dude. I mean, 10th studio album. Congrats on that.
Thank
The quote that I just got most excited about, and it's something that Chad said, but maybe you can shed some context or light onto it. Is this is the album that Newfound Glory fans have been waiting for you guys to make, and that's just
you.
exciting to hear as a fan of you guys. But what does he mean by that?
Well, what I think he means is that this record has a lot of, it still sounds very much like a fresh, modern New Found Glory record, but we had kind of taken the influences that have made us a band and sort of put that in place with recording this record. So, for example, like, for those that don't know, we got Steve Evans to produce the record, and he produced a ton of records that we grew up listening to and records that influenced us, and he's also produced bands that we've toured with back in the day. So like, anybody from Saves the Day to Snapcase to, I mean, he's done so much stuff, and I think that people will be able to hear that influence in these new songs, and it's just going to bring back those vibes of like, playing Elks Lodges in New Jersey, and just back in those days where like it was all about just coming to shows and having fun, and I think that, and we've always tried to like do that even when we play bigger shows. We always try to just involve people and try to make it feel intimate, and sometimes it's hard, but these songs have a very intimate feel to them, if that makes sense.
Well, no, it totally makes sense. And it's really exciting. What like inspired that? If you can you pinpoint it? Like I'm always fascinated when a band says it's time to get back to square one. It's time to return to our origin. It's time to get back to those early days. In terms of the essence and the spirit. Did you feel like you were straying from it at all, or like what inspired that? Did you just miss those days? Did you just feel like it was? What led
Yeah,
to it?
I think it was a combination of sort of missing those days a little bit, and also maybe you know there are a lot of our fans that don't really know about that kind of stuff, that weren't around during then, and so um, I think kind of showcasing that is what we really wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Um.
uh, there we have fans that have never seen us play a place like that, or have maybe they'd never even heard like our first couple records.
Yeah.
So I think bringing it back around to that, but also making it sound new and fresh too, like I think was a cool thing that we did.
Yeah. Um, Speaking of the whole gist of this, if they didn't explain it to you, Jordan, it's all fan questions, and I've kind of been hogging the spotlight. I do have one personal question while we talk about old school Newfound Glory. So I'm really big into vintage T-shirts. And I got
Okay.
this guy in LA that just finds like the craziest old school vintage T-shirts. I don't have any Newfound Glory merch. throughout the years. I
Okay.
just don't know why I don't. But dude, this is so cool. And I'm wondering if you see it, if you can tell us the backstory of what tour this is from.
Okay.
It's got the drive-through logo on the back. But look at this bad boy. You remember this guy?
Oh yeah.
What is this from?
That
I bought this like immediately when he showed me it, but I'd
I
never seen it before.
I think that was from when we did a tour. It was us. So it was us, Finch, Something Corporate, and Further Seems Forever.
Oh, what a tour!
Yeah, I think it was like 2000 maybe or 2001. I can't.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's like almost 20-year-old shirt. It's crazy.
Hell yeah. Crazy. All right, Rad. That was my one fan question. Now let's get to the actual fans. This comes from John, and he says, what are your thoughts on re-recording Nothing Gold, and what's the probability of officially releasing vinyls for Catalyst and Coming Home?
Oh man. Okay, so we've definitely thrown the conversation around of re-recording. I think we'll could stay, but I feel like it would take away from the nostalgia that that record has and what it did for people back when that record came out and what it still does for people when they listen to it. And I really don't. I feel like I don't. I don't know. I don't know if I would want to re-record that record, if that makes sense. I mean, yes, it sounds like it was recorded in a dumpster, which we barely knew what we were doing. But that's what I think is so. I think that's why people like it.
Oh, yeah. It
And it
almost
was,
like as a kid that discovered that on like, file sharing services back in the
yeah,
day, it
yeah,
almost sounded like something you weren't supposed to be listening to. There was something cool and like underground's a cliche term, but you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it was so not produced in a lot of ways that like, I don't know. It was cool.
yeah. And I was just like still trying to figure out who I was as like a singer, and so um, all I knew is like I wanted to sing like Allison from Discount, which was this band from Florida that we all loved. um, and and I think that's why I think people enjoy it because it does sound that way. And so I don't know if we would. I don't know. We've definitely talked about it though. And as far as like the vinyl goes, yes, we plan on doing it. Um, but I think it has something to do with the record labels that it was on and how much it costs now to print vinyl. So we're figuring out how we can do it, but it will happen. It's definitely gonna.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are tricky situations, but that's an
Yeah.
awesome update. Cool. Let's get to this one. I've read none of these questions, so I hope they're appropriate. One
I
Nelly
don't care.
two says, let's see. Okay, cool. What is your biggest mistake about the song? Your biggest mistake? Learned that the song is one of my roommate's favorites, and loved the Newfound Glory music. Still brings people together. So, what's your biggest mistake about?
So that was actually, I mean, most of our songs are about personal things that happen, but um, that was, so I was married once before. We had a Las Vegas wedding, one of those kind of things. And I was with this person, and the guys in my band were like, we don't think that this is good for you. Like, this is not the right person. She treats you crappy, and like, why are you doing this? Um, and that's kind of like where that song stemmed from. And then knowing that, having to sing it, like that's one of my, I love that song. That's one of my favorite songs too. Um, and that's pretty much what it was about. It was about me making some poor decisions, and my friends, and my family, my band, like they trying to tell me that, dude, you're like making a mistake. You shouldn't be doing that. So
Right
yeah.
this comes from Chris, and Chris wants to know what's your daily quarantine routine look like?
Oh man. It just depends on the day, I guess. It's pretty boring. So like I said earlier, like my wife and I have to basically do homeschool now till who knows when, and that's like kind of a nightmare. Because I graduated high school with like consumer math. I never went to algebra, pre-algebra, or anything like that. So trying to teach my kids, and they get all mad and flustered when I don't know how to like help them, because
Yeah.
I'm like reading it, I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, so it's a lot of like homeschool stuff. Take a lot of breaks. I try to get some sort of like physical activity in, because you can't go to the gym or anything, or
Yeah.
trying to figure out stuff to do at home. A lot of bike rides. The beaches are closed. I surf, so that's been a bummer.
Yeah.
Can't even get in the water, which sucks. So yeah, I kind of like we like take like a million bike rides. We go on a bunch of walks. Um, I drink coffee all day.
Yeah, ditto.
Yeah, and just like two house projects, I guess. I mean, I have a like an old craftsman style house that we've been working on. So
Cool.
yeah, it's kind of it.
Right on, man. This is a cool question. This comes from what MH Way Cool. What kind of tattoos would you like to get in the future, if any? And are you open to collaborating with other tattoo artists?
Yeah, I'm always down. I'm always down to collaborate. Just depends what kind of collaboration, I guess. Uh, and what kind of tattoos I want to get. Is that what that question was?
Yeah, yeah, like, are you looking to get any more tattoos in the future?
I mean, tattoos hurt like the son of a bitch. I hate getting tattooed, but it's really cool afterwards. I really want to like do my hands. Um, but that's been like a conversation that my wife and I have had for a while that she's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, who cares? Like, I'm already close, you know?
Yeah,
And I tattoo anyway. So it's like, it's not like I'm trying to get a real job anytime soon.
yeah, right.
Um, and I don't know. I thought about doing my head right here. Thought that'd be cool. Yeah. I just don't know
Wait,
what.
like a face tat?
No, like up here.
Oh, up here? Right on.
Yeah.
All right, cool. There's so many. I want to get to as many as we can while we have you here.
Okay.
This comes from Hammer Like the Tool, which is a great username. Do you miss the old crazy newfound glory days with 24/7 shenanigans?
uh, yes and no. I mean, I'm kind of like a mellow person to begin with. But I don't know. There are times where I do miss it, and then there's times where I'm like, yes, I could just like sit here and not have to worry about doing anything. Um, yeah, I kind of miss it a little bit, I guess.
At times, right?
Yeah,
There's days
there are days.
when
Yeah,
you're stuck in the
I,
house, you know?
yeah,
Uh,
I think that's why I'm like missing it right now because I'm just thinking about, man, I haven't done anything for five. How long have we been quarantined or social
oh,
distancing?
dude.
Like,
Well, it feels like forever. I think it's been like 5 weeks or something like that officially, but
yeah.
um, it's crazy, dude. We're talking all about these old school days, dude. Do you guys still sell this book, by the way? I wanted to show this. This is like the coolest. If you're a Newfound Glory fan,
Oh yeah.
this is like, I guess you did this in like 2016, but
Yep.
it's like you're talking about all these old shows, and I think this is such a great like companion for the new album
Oh,
because
totally.
if it's about those shows, you basically have. Well, I mean, like you guys can see. I don't know how awesome you can see, but these are all the old
Yeah.
flyers of like
Yeah.
all of your old shows. It's so crazy. Um,
Yeah.
this isn't still available though, is it?
I think you can. I think there might be some on the web store, but I'm not 100%
All right,
sure.
cool. I just wanted to throw that in there since you're talking about the inspiration behind the album.
When it comes to like business stuff with the band, I'm like the worst.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know. I'm amazed you did the you knew what tour the merch was from. All right, cool. Let's get to Esquin 210. They want to know how often do you make it back to South Florida when not touring?
Um, it we try to go back like every couple of years, like just to go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because my most of my family's there. I have a couple grandparents that are still around, and they want to see kids and stuff. So we try to make it there. And my mom comes to visit every so often, because my brother lives out here too, and he's got two kids. Um, and my dad comes once in a while, but yeah, it's mostly when I'm on tour.
Yeah.
And it's pretty stressful too, because like everybody wants to come to the shows and stuff when I'm in Florida, like all my
Yeah.
family and everything. So I try to limit that and then make it a point to like come back, like when I can just hang out.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Um, Becky wants to know where did the album title come from?
It kind of came from just the fact of so it's like a double meaning. So one of it is the personal meaning where we've been a band a long time and we've been able to do what we do, and it's because of people that still are coming to see us play and buy our records and stuff, and we genuinely feel like we could go on and do this forever. And that's sort of on the personal side where that title comes from, and showing like and with the music and everything that we've done on this record. And then on the other side of it, it's more of like where where you have like certain relationships in your life, and you have those dreams and aspirations of it lasting forever, but you really don't know what the future holds, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like the other side of it. So
Yeah, which is kind of
and
like,
and I think it'll make more sense, you know, obviously when people listen to the record and they hear the lyrics, and because our lyrics have always been about, you know, we do have songs that you have to really like, oh, what does that really mean? But I think recently, we really just wanted to have songs that people can absolutely relate to, and they don't have to like think too hard into the meaning, you know, where you can listen to the song, you can be like, oh shit, like I really feel that, you know?
yeah. And it's 15-track album, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah,
A lot of music.
old school.
How do you guys continue to find influences for new music? It seems like you guys never stop.
Um, I think we are pretty good. I mean, I love finding out about new bands and listening to new records and playing them for my friends, you know? That's how I've always been. Um, and so a few of us in the band, I mean, most of us, we try to keep our ear to the ground, and we are always inspired by like meeting other bands and, you know, listening to new stuff. I mean, we don't want to, we never want to be like the bitter, like, you know, old guys, because
Yeah.
we're not.
Which it's funny, like I feel like you almost have to play defense against that as as you have more success in your career, it becomes as long as you guys has,
Yeah,
because it's like it's about, I always feel like it's about finding that spirit, right? Because like the spirit that you guys had in the early 2000s, and whether it was Jersey shows or South Florida dates or what have you, like
yeah.
you can find that somewhere. And maybe it's not music that sounds exactly like your music, but like that spirit is still out there, and I feel like that's important to seek out, right?
Oh yeah, I think more than ever, which is really cool.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Melly says, can you already name a favorite song? Okay. Can you already name a favorite song from the new album, or which one would you recommend people should listen to first?
Um, I mean, I definitely think they should listen to the first track we put out, because that's sort of like really gives a vibe of the record. I mean, there are some slower songs on the record too. Um, and there's 15 songs, which we were talking about before, but I mean, there's some songs on there that are like 2 minutes long, where they were super, you know, that influence was like Lifetime Kid Dynamite vibe, you know. Um, and I think for me, like one of my favorite songs on the record is, um, it's called Any Other Guy. I think that one's really sort of, it takes that old sound, but it also has a fresh, like, modern take on it. Um, there's a really cool like breakdown bridge, and the whole song slows down towards the end, and it's a really cool slowdown, and the chorus is really catchy, and yeah, so I like
Dope.
that.
Any
Yeah,
other guy?
yeah,
Okay. Right on. A lot of questions in the comments about acoustic stuff. Any plans to do acoustics? I mean, people. I know some bands are getting creative in quarantine. Like, have you guys talked about doing anything like that?
yeah. I don't know, because we all live in separate places right now, and we were supposed to get together again, um, next month before the tour, and do some more acoustic stuff, like because we had put out some live stuff on YouTube,
Hmm.
of some acoustic things. And so I think we will try to do some more. Yeah. Um, we just gotta figure out how to how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. It can't be as hard as algebra.
Yeah.
Um, are you guys talking with Simple Plan at all in terms of like, and not that you have to be, but like maybe something supplemental to like not being on tour right now? Like, have you guys talked about, I don't know, whether it's like you guys have done such cool things with other bands like that. You did that split with Dashboard,
Oh yeah.
back in the day where you covered each other's stuff.
Yeah.
Would you do anything like that with Simple Plan, or have you talked at all with the band about like something?
No, not as of yet. No.
Cool. All right, right
Yeah.
on. Throw it out there. All right, awesome. Final fan question. What was the most memorable part of the recording process?
I think it was just being hang. For me, it was the so I stayed at Chad's house. He lives in Franklin, Tennessee, and the studio was in Franklin, in the middle of the woods, which was really cool. It was old. it was a mansion that was built to look like a castle, and Al Capone built it back in Prohibition days. So it was like
Oh
his
wow.
it was like his funneling point of where he would funnel liquor and whatever distribute stuff underground from Chicago, and it was like the middle point to Florida, I guess,
Yeah.
or something like that. And so there's all these hidden symbols and weird rooms and stuff. Um, the cobblestone walkway going up to the front door, it's up these bunch of these stairs, and it's got all these like little symbols, like a roulette table and a blackjack symbol and a roulette table with a gun in the middle of it. Um, like really, really bizarre stuff. And so there's all these crazy rooms, and supposedly it was haunted. I don't know if that's true. But the one of the engineers said he used to like see stuff and
Oh
whatever.
no shit.
Yeah. And so that was really fun. And so staying at Chad's house was fun too, because him and I would, we'd wake up and we're like coffee guys. So we would get up, get coffee, hang out for a little bit in the morning, then go to the studio and just start jamming. And that, it's always like a pretty fun time. There are times where we're like frustrated at each other, but yeah, I liked the studio was really cool. So,
This is your 10th studio album you're about to give us in June. Looking back at all of them, what's the craziest recording experience in hindsight? That was just whether it was outside forces being crazy or what you guys were going through or experiencing, but what record was just the craziest recording experience?
I think the craziest was, well, there's different types of crazy, but here's one example is when we did our first major label record, which was the self-titled record. We were still living in Florida, and we were all still living at home with our parents, which is crazy. Because I was like 19 maybe or something like that. Anyway, we were touring a lot. And so we were recording that self-titled record, and we were at a insane studio, like top of the line stuff, everything. And, we weren't used to that. We were recording in like, dumps for a long time. And then we finally were able to record this really nice studio and have a real producer, Neal Avron, who at the time wasn't really doing much stuff. He did like a couple Everclear records and like a Wallflowers record.
Okay.
We were like his first like pop punk band that he produced.
What Everclear record did he do?
He did so much for the Afterglow, and then some other stuff. Yeah.
Okay, right on.
Yeah. But we just gelled well with him, and he did like a bunch of records after that, which and so anyways, the craziest thing was we were still living at home. We were in South Florida, and so all of our friends would come and hang out every day. So we'd have like 20 people hanging out in the lounge, like playing video games and doing things that you shouldn't be doing, and making like eating food. They would stock the fridge and with drinks and like food and like all this stuff. And so we just would invite our friends to come hang out. We'd be like, come have free food, come have free drinks. And people would do like weird backup vocals and, weird, secret tracks and stuff. And I don't know, just a fun time.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm just picturing the Hit or Miss music video. Like that's how I just picture that entire house. Well, rad, man. You've been really gracious with the time, like 25 minutes. So thank you very much for hopping on.
No worries.
And that's gonna be a really cool record store day. Are you doing anything cool in terms of like I know some bands do a promotion with record store day and a special vinyl or anything like that? Is there anything?
Well, I mean, we had all these plans, but I don't know. It's hard to tell we do have a lot of, as far as the record goes. I mean, there's a bunch of really rad different colors for the vinyl. Target's doing an exclusive release of it, which I did some like temporary tattoos. It comes in the packaging.
Oh, rad.
Which you can get there. But as far as like doing in stores or anything like actual record store day stuff, I don't know. I mean, we were trying to plan stuff, but we don't know what's going to happen with this whole like shitty situation. So
yeah, it's crazy. Well, rad. Well, either way, record store day and the album come out June 19th. Thank you so much, dude. I really enjoyed hanging.
Yeah, good hanging out, dude.
All right, see you, dude.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications from radio.com. While you're at it, why don't you check out some of our other great videos.